How's it going? It's Nathan Hawken and welcome to the video. So most coaches, and I've fallen victim to this myself, will really bend over backwards trying to prove themselves to a potential client. Constantly chasing discovery calls or sales calls. I hate calling it sales calls. But constantly chasing these calls, constantly lowering their prices, and even taking on clients that they know aren't the right fit just to pay the bills, just to keep the lights on, or just to keep the calendar looking full. But the real truth is, and this is something which is very powerful for you to understand, is that you choose your clients. They don't choose you. When you really understand this, when you embody this and you make this an absolute must in your coaching business, then everything about your coaching business will change. If this is your first time joining one of my videos, thank you. You are more than welcome. My name is Nathan Hawken, like I said, and I am a coach. I've been coaching for over a decade now. I'm working with high-performing leaders, Olympic athletes, banking executives, entrepreneurs, and business owners, as well as other coaches as well to help them with their coaching business. And one of the things I really struggled with in the beginning was working with those right clients. And I was always out trying to find the next client, trying to do those ridiculous sales calls, which we're told that we need to do, or those discovery calls. And I really hate those terms of sales calls and discovery calls when it comes to coaching, because I don't think that's one of the best ways to find clients, is just those quick taster calls. And so there was many times when I would take on a client who I knew wasn't a fit simply because I wanted to get paid, which is a really shocking mindset for a coach. It's not about just getting paid. I mean, that's the fruits of our labor. But we don't sign clients just to get the paycheck from it. We want to work with good clients, which are going to be good for us, who get good results and who walk away from our coaching feeling amazing, not feel like it's just been another business, another expense for them. So let's first talk about the hidden costs of chasing those particular clients, their constant battle of chasing, trying to find the clients, and we bring a certain energy to these type of calls. Even if it is a discovery call or a sales call or whatever type of call we're having with a prospective client, there's a very silent killer in a coaching business is that desperation energy. It's that energy that you're desperate, you really need the client. I always refer back to, if you ever watch The Simpsons, there's a recurring character called Old Gil, and he's just that washout sales type of trope where he's always, I'll get the next sale. And his wife calls him and he's like, oh no, I didn't get this one, but the next sale is coming. You know, it's that desperation energy. And we've all seen that in salespeople before. We've all seen that in general, like people in the general population before. Those who are desperate, they're really just trying to either prove something or get something from someone, and it comes off really needy. Rich Litvin and Steve Chandler talk a lot about that. It's this, someone will feel it. And being needy is very creepy to someone. When you've got a needy salesman who's just looking for a sale, you can feel it, right? You can feel this very needy energy, and it puts you off the product that they're selling, even though it might be really good for you. I don't know, you might feel sympathy and buy the product, but for the majority, and I put myself in this bracket as well, it's very needy and very off-putting. You can feel that they're just waiting for that invoice to land, and you may have noticed this with clients. Like a client says yes and they're on board, and you're just waiting for that invoice to land. You're always checking your bank accounts to see if it's been paid. Or you might need to follow up with them just to ask if it's coming through anytime soon. Or maybe you've noticed that you say yes to a client, or a client even says yes to you, who has absolutely drained you after the first session. It's been a chore, a slog to get through that first session because they're not a good fit, because they're not willing to do the work, or many other reasons. But after the first session, feeling drained, that's not going to be a good client. And more importantly, when you're coaching from a place of need, right? When you're showing up with a very needy type of mindset, instead of a visionary type of mindset, instead of a possibility type of mindset, your clients feel it, right? Your clients will absolutely feel that. And you won't be able to bring your power as a coach into those sessions, because you're not going to be half as effective as you could be if you're coming in with vision, if you're coming in with possibility and opportunity, not just for your clients, but for you as well. Because this doesn't just affect your income. What we're talking about today isn't just about finances. This is energy draining. It dilutes your energy. All your energy is going towards the neediness or getting paid or the strength it's taken to coach this person. And it's really draining. This compromises your standards. And worst of all, it sends a subconscious mind to the market out there that you'll work with anyone. Anyone and everyone. Bring them to me. I'll work with you. Coaching's not like that. There was a time in my early career when I actually landed quite a big deal, and I was coaching with someone else at the time as well, as in the two of us were doing the coaching. I landed a very big deal, and it was like a 5-figure type of deal. And I honestly had no idea how I was going to coach him. I was coming from a scarcity mindset, a very needy type of mindset, because at the time, my money wasn't in good form. And so I was just happy to get the client. And I was actually coaching 2 people. It was a husband and wife. And I went to their house the first time. I coached the wife the first day. I spent the whole day with her and then did the same for the husband the next day. And I actually had to drive interstate for that. And when I was on the way back, we received an email and said, look, we didn't get anything from the coaching. We want to cancel. You can keep the deposit. That's it. And this really shook me. This shook me really hard because it wrecked my limiting belief. Like, it really rocked my limiting beliefs around money and my own self-worth and rejection and fear of failure and all these things. And it took a little while to recover, and the financial side of things as well. I was so happy to be getting paid such a large amount. And then when it just disappeared, I was like, oh. And so that's when I reflected upon it, I realized that I was coming from a needy place. I was coming in, I wasn't curious about the person, as curious about the person in front of me. I came in like, I'm going to go do this, which was my typical intensive type of day that I would do with someone. I'm going to go do this because this is what I always do in my intensive, rather than going in and thinking, what does this person need? How can I serve this person? How can I get to know this person? Right? I went in with my own agenda, and I was coming in from a needy mindset, and that automatically put these people off. And that deal got finished, and it really sucked, and I really hated it. And this is what happens when you're coming from a needy place. This is what happens when your energy is drained and you're not bringing the right energy into it. To become an effective coach and work with the clients that you choose to work with, you have to start reclaiming your choices. Because coaching is a very sacred work. Coaching is very intimate. You're reaching people at a very deep level, and you're helping people become way better versions of themselves and achieve more than they ever thought possible. And to do this, you've got to dig in deep within inside the person, help them dig in deep within inside themselves. And so this very sacred work demands discernment. If you think about it, you're not a vending machine. You're not here to fix people who don't want to be fixed or changed. You're here to partner with leaders. You're here to partner with your clients who are ready to rise, which is a very important distinction. If you choose to work with people that aren't a good fit and who don't want to change, you're not going to change them. But if you're working with people, if you're partnering with your clients who are ready to rise, who are ready to become more, who are ready to be bigger than they ever thought possible, those are going to be good clients. This is more than a shift in a mindset. This is an upgrade to your identity. And just think about this for a second. If you ever come into a potential call with a client, a potential coaching client, and you got this feeling or this inner voice thinking, geez, I hope they pick me. I hope they choose me. I hope they work with me. It'd be really great if they just worked with me. If you could shift that identity to, I hope they pick me or work with me, to, let's see if they qualify for me. How powerful is that? Let's see if they qualify for me. Let's see if they're going to be good for me rather than, I hope I'm good for them. You notice how powerful that shift is. You know how instantly powerful your identity feels and how much that changes. Because you're not a fit for everyone. And you're never going to be a fit for everyone. But that's where your power begins. When you realize that you're not a fit for everyone, that's where your real power begins. So one of the ways you can filter out your prospective clients is by using the ACE client filter. Now the ACE, A-C-E, this is not mine. I'm not 100% sure who created it, but it's not my client filter. But it's something which is powerful, and it's something that I use when I'm exploring if I want to work with a potential client. So ACE is A, aligned mission. Is this client trying to build something bigger than themselves? One of the ones that I would add to it is does this client have a mission which is bigger than mine? Because if my client has a mission which is bigger than mine and they're trying to create something bigger than themselves, that's a lot of growth that's going to happen, both for the client and for myself. And feeling inspired by your client is a very powerful place to come from when you're working with a client. So is this client trying to build something bigger for themselves? And are they legacy driven, or are they just checking the boxes, right? Do they have a legacy they want to leave? Do they have an impact they want to make? Or are they just checking the boxes along the way? They're just ticking them as they go, just to make sure that, they're getting coaching, they're doing things that they think they should do. So if they have an aligned mission, that's a great place to start. C is for committed mindset. Do they take ownership? Do they take ownership and responsibility for everything that they have or they want in their life and everything that has happened to them in their life up until this point? Do they take ownership of that? And are they coachable? Are they resourceful? Are they resilient? If they're blaming their team, if they're blaming their ex, if they're blaming the algorithm, if they're blaming their mother and father from years before, then that could potentially not be a great place to start. So a committed mindset is highly important to help you filter through potential clients and see if they qualify for you. And then after that, it's energetic fit. So E is energetic fit. Do they energize you? Not just are they full of energy, but do they energize you? If you are working with this person, do they bring you energy? Because if they bring you energy and the energy that you bring into the session, how valuable and powerful would those sessions be? So ask yourself, do they energize you? Do you look forward to working with them every single week or every single fortnight, however you work with your clients? Do you look forward to working with this person? Would that be exciting for you? So if you've got a client and you see their name in the calendar and every time that their coaching session is coming up, you're like, ugh, your stomach drops. You're like, oh, I don't want to do this. Then that's a definite no. That is a no as a client that qualifies for you. So if they fit that ACE client filter, that's a really good starting point for you to be able to filter your clients. And if it's yes to all of those and you're feeling good about working with them, then bang, you've got a good client there. And so the last thing I wanted to talk about was why choosing the right clients changes everything for you. When you create your clients, when you're actively out there creating your clients, not hoping that you're going to get clients, you create deeper breakthroughs with them. When you're working with the client, you're asking those deep questions, breakthroughs are coming up. When you've filtered your clients or your potential clients, they've said yes, they've come on board, they start doing the work and they're committed, they're bringing energy, you're energized by it, it all feels good. The breakthroughs are deeper. The growth they go through is more profound. And when you're having deep breakthroughs with people, when your clients are having these massive shifts inside themselves, and after every session they walk out going, wow, that was a great session. It's like, wow, I never realized that about myself. Or wow, I never realized I was holding myself back there. Or wow, that was a powerful question. Your brand transforms. It brings referrals. It brings new people. You've got your clients out there talking about it, sharing it. The testimonials you'll get will be more powerful. So your brand is built around transformation, not transactions. And you start to fall back in love with coaching as well. So sometimes coaching can feel like a slog because you've been working with the wrong people, because your sessions have been draining, because your client isn't a good fit, or they're just not doing the work, they're not committed, they're not looking big enough, they're not doing any of that. And it's draining your energy. When you're choosing your clients and you're picking the right clients and you're powerful enough to say no to someone who isn't the right client, you really fall back in love with that coaching. And so the amazing ripple effect there is that your clients, or the clients that you say no to, make space for the ones you're meant to serve. So let me ask you this. What would shift in your business if you only worked with clients who lit you up, who you are selective about, who you choose personally, what would shift in your business? So here's a challenge for you. Look at your current client list. Who's currently draining your energy? Who's inspiring your genius? Who's bringing the energy into the sessions? Who are you secretly holding on to out of fear of letting them go or fear of not getting paid? Find out who and then let them go. With love, of course. With love, care, and compassion. You're not doing it in a harsh way or anything like that. You're doing it a way because you're setting boundaries for yourself. You're being clear about who you want to work with. And you need to protect your energy so you can bring it to the clients who are going to be worthy of that energy. So let them go. Make space for alignment and don't scale through more. Scale through right. So if you're struggling with that type of conversation with a client you're working with and you want to make space for new ones, reach out to me and I can help you with that. But let them go. Because your power, your time, your energy, it's very, very valuable. It's very important. And it's crucial that you save it for the clients which are going to do the work. Let me know if you've ever said no to a client. Let me know how many you've said yes to. And let me know if you've ever regretted taking on a client. So thank you very much for watching the video, particularly all the way through to the end. If you do like my videos and my content, I asked you to leave a like and a subscribe. It really helps me out. It helps me grow. And part of my mission is to reach more people, not just to build an audience, but I want to serve as many people as I can to, especially coaches and leaders, to really help them become better than they are, to become more than they are. And the way to do that is by reaching more people. So thank you so much. If you've got any questions for me, please feel free to reach out.